Hey kids, welcome back. I'm Chris Harvey.
I'm Elena Joyner.
And I'm Chelsea Jackson.
This is Designer Dead, the podcast that gets into all things fashion, giving you both the fun and the failures of the fashion industry, as well as behind the scenes look at all the business aspects.
So how was your guys' week? How are you doing today?
It's gray and it's cold. I could be better.
Honestly, like, winter is holding on strong in New York.
It is.
I'm like, Spring, can you
fight
back?
Can you
back it out with winter a little bit?
Spring ain't springing. Spring ain't sprung yet. I don't know what the problem is.
But it is rainy. That's a hallmark of spring. So maybe we're kind of getting into it.
Yeah, it's just rainy and gray. It's giving Seattle. Yeah. You brought that Seattle vibe over here.
Okay. Funny story. Seattle does not rain, actually.
But I'm talking about the gray part. The gray aspect.
It doesn't rain. Like,
no,
you
about
don't
the grayness.
Okay, so you don't need an umbrella in Seattle. It just mists.
Oh, it mists.
Mists.
Either way, I can't keep a hairstyle there.
What does it do?
Mists.
Okay.
Okay, T's and S's mess me up. Like, I can't say ask.
So you can't say Seattle.
Seattle.
T's and S's.
No, I can say Seattle, but Seattle does not rain, it mists.
Yeah, okay.
It actually has less rain inches per year than Chicago. Fun fact.
Come on, fun fact, trivia.
Okay.
Fun fact.
All right.
Well, I had a better week. I got engaged over the weekend.
Love is still out here, kids.
Yes.
Keep hope alive.
So yeah, it was a great time in Paris. He surprised me, and yes, we were there for his mother's 60th birthday, and he surprised me. And then my sister also came to celebrate in like this impromptu kind of engagement party. It was really beautiful. So yeah.
It's amazing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lena. Also, you guys can't see the ring up close, but it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
And
it's amazing.
Thank you. Okay. Let's get into a fit check. We started with you, Chris, last time. So let's start with, oh no. Did we start with you? Sorry, okay. Let's get into a fit check. Let's start with Chelsea. What do you have on?
Go ahead, sis.
So I am wearing a Poochie shirt, care of the Luxlin, theluxlin.com, which of course is Chris's company. I am wearing Levi jeans.
Yes, get here too. Come on. Give us a little spin. All right.
Oh, the Beyonce.
I'm saying they're care of Beyonce.
Inspired by.
Yes, they're flare jeans, which is very on trend for spring.
We love it.
And then, of course, I'm wearing denim on denim boots. The boots are Jeffrey Campbell.
Okay.
All right, Chris, what you got on?
Okay, I have on a Casablanca blazer, which is also on the Luxlin. A Burberry belt, my favorite, the Margiela tabby boots, and a little tank top. This is from Richie NYC, which is a New York-based designer. So, doing all the things. Give me a little black moment.
Black moment. Very New York.
Yeah.
I am wearing this fringe skirt.
Ooh, get into the fringe.
Very in trend. It gives me a lot of movement. It's from
I love this skirt.
This looks good.
I actually have never heard of this brand. But
my pants are Stan Studio.
Really?
Yeah, they do a lot of really good like vegan leathers and stuff.
And they also do a lot of good coats, like vegan leather coats as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it. And where's the blouse from?
The blouse is from Commence.
Okay.
The blouse is very
high-low.
This is high-low.
High-low spring
very high-low, and these are Schultz shoes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. We love it.
And this is from Zara.
Okay, period. Well, speaking into the fits, let's get into the fit boys, who are the men who are really killing the fashion game out here. So first up, we'll talk about Law Roach and the fabulous outfit he wore to the Fashion Scholarship Fund Gala. So he had on a Margiela coat. It was very like textured, very nice looking coat. A Vivienne Westwood double-breasted suit in navy. And then he also finished the look off with an Hermes Kelly bag, which we love, and the Loire mules. So what do you guys think?
Okay, go ahead first, Chelsea.
I'm about to say, I thought you would have loved the Margiela coat at the very least.
I actually like the idea of it.
Not the ideal.
It was concepts of a great outfit for me.
Oh, I loved it. I was a fan. 10 out of 10. I want it. I wear it.
It's concepts of a great outfit. Like, obviously, it goes without saying that I love Law Roach's styling.
The image architect.
I love what he's done for the industry.
Yeah.
However, there is something about people who are like style geniuses where they cannot style themselves. And I just feel like
a hot take.
Law does not style himself like how he styles people. Like even like if we're talking about like men's styling, like Lewis Hamilton, what he's done to Tom Holland, and then also Alton Mason at the Met Gala. Like that is not the styling that I'm seeing from him. And I want for him to style himself like himself. Like, but if you think about these fashion like designers and like all these fashion stylists, they never style themselves like how they style other people.
Like my notes like are more like specific. Like I don't know why he buttoned the top and left the two buttons suit open.
Girl,
It just looked
maybe
a
he just
little
came
bit.
for dinner.
Okay, well, fine. I love Luar, but I didn't understand the boots with this specific
They were
look.
mules.
Sure.
I mean, okay, the mules with this specific look. I felt like the color, it threw it off a little bit, and then the style was a little off for me. And I felt like the pant like cut, like where it landed on his leg, could have come down a little longer.
I think
so I
it was
had more
supposed
like
to be slouchy.
details. Okay. Okay.
Well, I guess we're buried on that. Next, we can all agree, Michael B. Jordan, style star, styled by Jason Bolden.
Yes.
So he wore a Louis Vuitton demier, double-breasted blazer, a white button-up shirt, and a tie, and Paige jeans to Good Morning America. Of course, he's on the press tour for Sinners. And then he finished the look with a pair of Louis Vuitton penny loafers. So
I loved the look from the waist up.
See, so I'm not someone who normally would wear light wash jeans, especially with a blazer like that, but I actually really liked it. Like, especially when regarding men's trends, there's this new like excitement about like office wear and mixing office wear with more casual pieces, which I think he did really well, or Jason did really well, and he executed it well.
Jason Bolden has been on a run this year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Black designers for the win. I mean, black stylists for the win.
Yes. I want his show back, by the way. I know we're talking about Michael B. Jordan. Yes. Okay.
That was a good show.
Side note. But I love this look, too.
I just don't, first of all, I'm not a fan of the chunky loafers with this look. I would have probably chosen a different shoe.
No, I loved it.
I love a chunky loafer. Oh my God, if I could live in them.
Yeah. And then what about his other press tour look with
love
the
the
matching
Burberry
set,
look.
the Burberry
The
matching
Burberry
set?
look.
And,
First of all, the glasses.
And the boots. It was the boots for me.
The
snakeskin square toe boots.
I love those.
Rattlesnake boots. I think they really elevated the outfit and gave it a little edge. And also the glasses, like loved everything. And it was very, very like cool and like laid back, but still put together.
Yeah, which he does well.
Yeah. They also harken back to the movie, right? Which like is set in the South, like wearing boots, kind of like a snakeskin cowboy. So I don't know if that was kind of the vision to harken back to the movie, like tailored with like leathers and Americana, but it seems like there are elements in there.
Yeah.
But it's not like some of the press tours where it's like very on theme.
The nose.
It's not on the nose.
Yeah.
He's letting it, like he's relaxing a little bit the theme. So we'll see how it progresses.
Yeah. And then also Patrick Schwarzenegger from White Lotus that we all love, and y'all have been talking about White Lotus and their fashion moments. So this is from an editorial from California Style Magazine. And so he was wearing an Amiri double-breasted blazer, like another double-breasted blazer moment, which I love, clearly. And I love Amiri. Y'all know that. That's one of my favorite brands. So I thought it looked really good. It was very California cool, so like it made perfect sense. It was actually, I don't think that character on White Lotus is the most fashionable. It's very kind of like Brooks
it's very
Brothers.
Southern.
Yeah, he's not really my style. But
Vineyard
like,
Vines.
Yeah, but like the editorial I thought was really good. I thought it was very high fashion.
I honestly, maybe I don't know why I'm hating on all these looks, but I just feel like he has so much money and so much like...
It was a magazine editorial.
I don't know. I just feel like he could push himself a little bit more. Like he has a lot of connections, a lot of money. To me, it just fell a little flat for me. I don't know why. I felt like everyone else from this particular
are not impressed
cast...
later today.
Everyone else from this cast has been giving. Like they have been really,
Lisa, honey.
Lisa, the one who played the Southern mom, she did Parker. She did a whole Proenza kind of like ad. Like I think like she was really like everyone has been really leveling up, and I just feel like his was just like kind of me.
Well, the Schwarzeneggers are not really known for their sense of fashion.
Y'all ain't gonna play that man like that.
So,
although this also wasn't street style, it was like the magazine style. So I guess whatever.
Next up is Covers and Couture, where we talk about the cover girls and cover guys that are leading this month's magazines. First up is the digital cover for Elle, where we have Lauren Sanchez and the rest of the girls that are going into space with Blue Origin. So I thought that this cover was a marker of late-stage capitalism, and I don't understand.
I was wondering where you were going to go. Are you going to go politics? Are you going to go fashion?
Yeah, I was about to
We're doing politics.
You can go a lot of ways.
I mean, the fashions were fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
everything's fine.
I don't know why they
fine.
didn't like stay on the theme of space. Like it was giving boardroom as opposed to space, and I'm just like, this is an Elle digital cover.
Right,
They could have went
it was an opportunity to really experiment and try something
with the
cool.
set design, with the styling. Like I thought that they were.
was a part of it. Who's like known
who's
for
normally
doing,
very like thematic. So I'm just like, why did we do a boardroom shoot when we could have done like a space?
I think
theatrical.
They were trying to harken back to like girl boss, like the girl, you know,
like a C-suite, like okay.
We're feminists, like we can do everything. We can go to space too. Like that was kind of like what the editorial was talking about. They were saying we're going to be the first girls to get glam. Going to space.
We're going to do our eyelashes and all of the. We're going to do a full mug and beat
to go to space.
Okay.
For space, essentially. What were your thoughts on it, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. It just was giving C-suite. It was fine. Like to Elena's point, I wish they had pushed the envelope more. But I was actually very disappointed by the physical cover.
Yes.
Because, like, I'm just like, you talked about this last time about the girls being sleepy in a dream. Like, we are tired. She looks like she's going to bed, and so am I, looking at this cover. Like, I just...
But also what she had on is, like, pajamas.
Yeah, and I'm just like...
We're, of course, talking about...
this is a fashion cover. This is Elle, like...
Daisy Edgar Jones. She wore, like, cuckoo.
Intimates.
Intimates. And then a Chanel cape. So I'm just like, okay, it's giving... it's like you said, sleepy, but it's also very dark. Like, she looks like she actually just woke up.
Yeah. I wonder what that says about the fashion industry right now, because this seems to be a trend, right? That we're seeing this like almost dark Lolita kind of vibes on camera, on these magazine covers. So maybe that's a recession indicator? I don't know.
Okay, the girls have talked about how fashion has tons of...
maybe.
The style has recession indicators.
Recession indicators?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So next up, we have Ben Affleck on GQ. He's wearing a shirt and bow tie by Charvet, pants by Drake's, and a pocket square by Tom Ford, shoes by John Lobb. I love this cover.
Love it down.
It's giving like 60s Playboy club, like very buttoned up, very much like juxtaposed from what we see from Ben Affleck in real life, right? So I really like this cover.
What I like about this cover is that you have to, and I hate to like take his actual life and like add it to this cover. But he has been looking very tired coming out of the J-Lo divorce. And he was, for that entire time, like that they were married, I felt like he was giving very much like holding my wife's purse. Like very much like I'm a kept man kind of like energy. He was very tired. He was like, looked like he was a little just kind of like just there. And now he's like stepping into his own, like getting his manhood back, getting his like, I don't know. I feel like he's just like kind of bossing up. And what I read about it was that he had chosen, the quote from the article was that Ben Affleck had chosen to make films as an executive first, a director second, and then an actor third. So he's like stepping more into the boss lane. He started his own like production company. So I think it was about him kind of like
stepping
leaving that behind, leaving the J-Lo era behind and stepping into his own prime as a director. So love that for him.
J-Lo, the lover girl. Come on.
I mean,
the cover was fine.
Really?
It was giving typical GQ for me. I was like, oh, okay, I'm in a suit. Okay.
I
actually thought you would have loved it.
No, because it's. I feel like it's playing more on what their stereotypical audience or demographic is. I feel like last cover with Michael B. Jordan was more like, we're trying to be young and cool and hip and like play to like the millennials and Gen Zers. And this one is like, okay, we're playing to like our typical older man who.
But he is older.
GQ.
He's like
and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like it's fine. I don't hate it. It's all right.
Okay. Next up, we have Tom Daley, top and pants by D Squared, and all his accessories by Tiffany's.
This I love. Like, this is a fashion cover I want to see. Like, I want to see a man in something cool and, exciting, something to talk about. Y'all know I love a sheer.
Yeah.
Give me a sheer.
Sheer is my favorite color.
Sheer with some
I say that all the
something.
time.
Yeah.
I'm wearing sheer right now.
Look at that.
And it looked very much because he's a diver, so it was like very water inspired. Yeah. So I liked that they kept a theme. I love a theme.
And so it was both sexy and fashionable. We can play off of, the female gaze on the man, and also the man wanting to be fashionable.
Very psychological.
Also, this is like female gaze done right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like when men like think of what women want, they think of like muscles and like oiled up and all that. No, we want like a little subtlety. Like don't pow, don't come at me. Like I want for you to like look soft yet very, very, very masculine. And I think this pulls it off very well.
Yeah.
So now we have this month's cover of Harper's Bazaar with the big three models right now: Alexis Consani, Paloma Alesser, and Anouk Yai, who I love, all wearing Hermes. So what do we think?
I just love to see a model on the cover of a fashion magazine. I think that's cool and that's exciting. I like that because normally, that's what magazines were for, and they just are showing celebrities. So I think it was great. I think they're all great models. So they showed the pieces. They made them look sellable. Like, is it a cover that would stop me at Barnes & Noble? No. Is it a cover that would stop me at a newsstand? No.
I mean,
but I wish them the best.
I like all of the diversity on the cover.
Yeah,
I think they're pushing, they're still pushing diversity and DEI. So thank God for the fashion industry for keeping that at the forefront. But I also just felt like I'm over the Skims look. I'm over the nude on nude look. And it fell a little flat for me. But
it's just boring. It's all boring.
Yeah.
Do you think that they were trying to play to, like, obviously they have vastly different skin tones, so they were trying to like play off that and make their skin tones look a little graphic? That's how I felt about it.
Maybe, but why choose that as the theme?
You're like, that could have been a theme.
They could have. That could have been a theme, but it's still like, that's an odd choice, but.
Okay.
All right. Well, now it's time for Designers, Deficits, and Dividends, where we talk about more of the business side of fashion. And I think we chose the topic of tariffs, which have been on everyone's minds, and they have just been all over the news. And this president of ours has taken it upon himself to get into trade and bidding wars between different countries. And we saw him roll back the tariffs for 90 days for most countries, but he's still in this tariff war with China, and their tariffs are currently at 145%. So what I wanted to do was actually kind of focus a little bit on China and then also just talk about some of the implications of the tariffs, because I feel like, everyone, it definitely hits the fashion industry, I think, very hard because so many things are produced all over the world, even if it's just like, you make the garment in like a number of different places, or if you make the garment just in one place, it's usually overseas just because of the cost of labor.
Yeah.
The
raw materials
skilled
are
artisans, the raw materials are overseas. So, it's not like we can just produce everything in the U.S. And we've seen, Diet Prada had this article about how that's not even always, possible. So let's get into like, what is a tariff? So a tariff is a toll on imports. So basically companies buy or make something overseas, and then they bring it over here to sell, and then the government imposes a tariff or tax on that particular item. So I wanted to get into what this means a little bit for the shopper. So like, what are the implications for the tariffs? So in terms of the biggest one, we know that there'll be increased retail costs. So if it costs more for the actual brand or the retailer to buy it in terms of the cost of goods, or in terms of the wholesale costs that have those tariffs added into it, then it'll definitely cost more. They're going to pass that tariff on to the consumer, of course. But then I also was thinking about other things that could be possible kind of negative effects for the shopper. One, if there's a lot of tariffs, the timing of things will get a little bit slower. So maybe they won't place a lot of bulk orders. Maybe they'll do a lot of things made to order, a lot of like pre-orders maybe. That might be like one of the implications of a tariff, that like maybe you're not able to get things as quicker. But also there might be fewer options. So for example,
there's definitely going to be fewer options.
Like the assortments are going to be kind of scaled back. Maybe they won't do like 100 looks. Maybe they'll scale back to maybe like a good 30 or 40. But then also size runs.
Yeah.
Like we're in the age. I didn't grow up in this age of like having plus size, so widely available.
Yeah.
But like if the SKUs that are going to go are the larger size runs. And, that's going to hurt a lot of the curvy girls where it costs more to make, plus size garments. So I wanted to know, like, open up the floor to you guys. What do you think will be the implications of tariffs and like, how do you feel about them?
I think one side effect that is also important to know is the people that are going to be able to afford to import from China are going to be the larger companies, right? Mm-hmm. So if your a markup is 145% and you're a small business, a small fashion designer, and you're already running on thin margins where you already may have been doing like small batches, you're not going to be able to afford that,
right?
And you're not going to be able to bring that labor here, right? Because each country kind of specializes in what they do. Like, China is known for large manufacturing. French is known for couture, right? You can't necessarily do couture in France just because there's a tariff, right? So I'm already seeing like a lot of brands on TikTok talking about like, well, this is it, guys. I have to close up. Like I'm a small business. So, and another thing I also wanted to note was like the concept of a deficit. I think a lot of people online don't know what a deficit is. And I heard it explained and I wanted to kind of share it. It was like such a good example. It's like, okay, you're hungry and you order Uber, right? Uber Eats. I'm the delivery driver. I bring you your Uber Eats. You get food and I get the money, right? That is literally the nature of a deficit, right? You've gotten an exchange of goods, but I got your money. So now there's a trade deficit between me and you because only one person got money and you didn't buy anything from me, if that makes sense. Or I didn't buy anything from you. So when one country gets money and one person gets the good, that is the deficit. Even though we're creating value on your end by giving you the good and I'm just getting the money, that's where the deficit is.
Got it.
Right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but we're making it out to be a bad thing, right? And I just kind of don't understand where this is going with this administration.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Chris. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say this is really just disproportionately going to impact the fashion industry. And what I didn't actually know was that the fashion industry already kind of pays higher tariff percentages than most other industries, right?
Oh,
so,
interesting.
For example, the steel industry on average for 2024, their average like tariff rate was about 5%, right? Whereas for like fashion, like manufacturers, like apparel, textiles, it was around like almost 15%, like 14.6%. So almost 3 times higher than the steel industry. And like fashion impacts so many, like everyone's consuming clothing and things like that. So it's interesting that like this is going to disproportionately affect an industry that was already being challenged, right? Like the fashion industry is not the strongest it's been, unfortunately. Like there have been a lot of issues, and especially like with fast fashion coming. And I think that was one of the reasoning for the tariffs was to actually attack those like fast fashion retailers, right? So this tariff gets rid of the de minimis exemption, which was for
goods under $800.
shipping. Yeah, it was packages that were $800 or less, which was typically like the Sheins, the Temus of the world. Like it was easy for them to import those goods, and they didn't have to pay, right? So some companies who are like focused on sustainability, I own the Lux line, so I care about sustainable fashion. So some of those companies were saying that those fast fashion retailers actually had an unfair advantage, right? Because they didn't have to pay those tariffs because they had the de minimis exemption. So I think that I get that they're really trying to push it to a way where like fast fashion is no longer going to be as like large and as prevalent as it is today. But I think, to your point, Chelsea, it's really hurting a lot of the smaller brands and the smaller companies. And already the smaller companies are struggling to exist in the fashion economy as it is. So it just seems like it's kind of like unfair. Like I kind of understand what he may have been trying to do or what the administration may have been trying to do, but I think it is going to disproportionately impact the fashion industry and especially the smaller companies that like can't afford.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that I have been reading a lot that the tariffs, like, despite like the economic effects and also the effects that it'll have on like actual consumer spending. There's also effects of like anti-American sentiment.
Oh, girl.
And so,
have you
literally from
Xiaolong Shu?
I mean,
they're eating us up, girl.
Eating us up, but also like we depend on Asian, specifically Chinese, like consumerism. Like we like brands like Coach.
China
like
lifted
they are trying to.
China lifted the trademark ban for you. Is China lifted for U.S.? They're like, we're gonna just make our own iPhones over here.
But the amount of businesses that were trying to expand in China, that were trying to, opening up store after store in China, like all over the region, like if there's anti-American sentiment, a lot of those businesses, the Ralph Laurens, the Coaches, like all of those businesses that were trying to actively like, kind of get market share in that in China, it's a little tough for them now because, they are is increasing anti-American sentiment. So I think it's just bad all around. Hopefully the Chinese government and our government can work it out. But yeah, it's a kind of a crapshoot right now. So yeah.
Okay, well, on a lighter note, talking about something more exciting.
Yes, please lighten it up. Please lighten the mood.
So we're going to do an Is Designer Dead 2000s edition. So here we're going to talk about brands that were like cool and relevant and exciting in the 2000s and talk about like where are they now and like what are they doing. So first up is going to be Herb Leger, BCBG Max Azria. Y'all remember the bandage dress?
Oh my God.
This dress had the girls in a chokehold in the 2000s,
Kim
right?
Kardashian and them.
And it actually briefly kind of made a resurgence among Gen Zers who were not familiar with the company because Kaya Gerber, Cindy Crawford's daughter, actually wore like a remake of her mother's like white bandage dress that she had worn to the Oscars with Richard Gere. And so people were seeing her wear that dress to the Toronto Film Festival. And it was like a trending thing. A lot of Gen Zers was like, oh my God, like what is this? Like, well, this is a cool new brand, like all of these things. So I also did like further research and saw that it's currently owned by Marquee Brands now. The company actually went bankrupt in 2017, unfortunately, but has been revived. And so now Marquee Brands is working with G3 Apparel and JS International to bring BCBG Generation, BCBG and Herb Leger, BCBG Max Azria to like more of the international stage and expand it. So they are in the process of creating a resurgence of the brand. And so what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the brand could be relevant again today? Or you think
it's relevant in the Jackson household?
Okay, come on. You got your little bandage dress?
Oh my God. Do you know, like when I was in my early 20s, I was broke and I couldn't afford it.
But there was a lot of dupes.
But I had my Forever 21 Charlotte Russe heels bandage dress. I would love to wear a bandage dress today. Like, oh my goodness.
I would, but just from like a retail, like kind of like business perspective, they had like one SKU to me. It was like one dress and like a couple different necklines. Like they're gonna need to maybe like expand like the offering a little bit for me to get excited. Cause I don't know, it's just it's always been one dress.
They were known for that SKU, but they had other SKUs. They just weren't as like popular because people knew them as like that item. But actually, speaking of brands who are known for like one popular item, we're also going to talk about Prinza Schuler, who is now gained a lot of acclaim and attraction because Jack McCullough and Lazaro Hernandez, who are the creative directors and the founders of the brand, they recently were appointed to Loewe, so they have stepped down from their own brand and are now focusing on Loewe, which is owned by LVMH. J.W. Anderson really reinvigorated the brand and brought it a lot of acclaim and brought it to more international attention. But Proenza is a brand that they were, I think, the darling of fashion back in the day, right? Like they won the inaugural CFDA Fashion Fund Award.
From what I have researched, a favorite of Anna Wintour.
Yes. Yeah. They were, which back in the day had a lot of clout. I mean, it still helps now.
Obviously.
But back then it was like when Vogue was really that girl, like
And I feel
you
like
having Anna's help was a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like they were the darling of the CFDA. And
Yeah, they were. They won many CFDA awards.
She was also very instrumental in trying to bring about more American designers, to try and really
elevate them on the worldwide scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were very much the darling of her kind of CFDA kind of class, the late 2000s.
Yeah, sure. And the PS1 bag, like as you guys know, the importance of accessories, like that bag was like a huge it bag. Like it really ushered in like a time. Like a lot of people had that bag. But for me, I think they're very talented designers. Obviously, they won a lot of CFDA awards. I just thought it was interesting that they would bring them to Loewe. Like, because no shade, like they're having some problems with their own brand, as a lot of brands are, especially American brands. It's hard. Like it's not shade at all. It's like very difficult, and it's like
in the recent years though, they have like had some seasons that were critical successes. Yes, but but in my opinion, they are definitely failing up.
Yeah, it's not commercially successful. Whereas Loewe was like J.W. Anderson made it a very commercially viable brand.
Yes,
and it's like. Hopefully, he's leaving there and going to Dior to bigger and better things. So we love that.
Fingers crossed for him.
Right. But I just think it's interesting that they were plucked from this American brand that's not doing the strongest, unfortunately, and are going to a brand that actually is like at a very, very high right now. But I am happy, though, about the fact that we are bringing more American designers to the world stage and to these like storied French fashion houses. Because most of these French fashion houses are helmed by Europeans, which is great, but like, you know, it's also good to have like some American representation too. So I am obviously rooting for them and I want the best for them. I was shocked by the news, is what I'll say.
Yeah, I was shocked as well. Also, Loewe has a lot of like aspirational pieces. Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if they are as good in those aspirational pieces. Are they as good with the things that you'll just buy under like $1,000 or under like maybe $800, where you can just like kind of, you know, make a look a little bit more elevated by just having a t-shirt or something like that. They are very much known for like that, like I call their style kind of like edgy marketing executive.
Yes. Yeah.
They're like,
because it's like they were known as like an edgy Donna Karen.
Exactly,
like,
exactly. Which I don't think is necessarily. It doesn't lend itself to those like kind of like aspirational pieces that you buy, like the shoes, the T-shirt.
Jonathan Anderson
he's known for all of that, and he's also known for like the whimsy that we've come to expect from Loewe, and that's definitely not their strong suit. They're more serious. So it's just like I mean, I think maybe Jonathan Anderson, maybe that's just his aesthetic, the whimsical aesthetic. Maybe he'll bring a little bit more of that.
I mean, that's his own label.
As well.
But what are they? I mean, if they depart from that, does Loewe still have like a reason to be with a lot of the like hype beast culture and a lot of the aspirational culture, which is probably where they make a lot of their like money?
Is this a recession indicator as well?
Oh my God. You and these recession indicators.
No, I'm just thinking like these things that don't make sense, they have to be recession indicators, because falling up that far, like,
I mean, maybe.
It's a shocker. It's a shocker.
It's a shocker. For sure.
But speaking of that, let's get into designer do-si-do, where we talk about the continuous magical revolving chairs in the fashion industry. So we just talked about Jack McCullough and Lazaro going to Loewe. So as we talked about last episode, Jimna from Balenciaga is going to Gucci, which leaves the house of Balenciaga open and available. Mm-hmm. And many of the girls are saying that it should be Martine Rose, who actually was an advisor to Jimna while he was doing the Balenciaga label. So what do you guys think? And also, this will be a major deal because, one, we've talked about how there aren't that many female designers. Yeah. And she's a black female designer. There are even, there's only one black male designer, and two, I guess, for real, in charge of major French fashion houses. So this would be a really big deal. And what do you guys think? I want to hear.
So I do want to say she was behind one of his most successful periods.
Oh, period.
At Balenciaga. So I do want to underscore that. Like,
okay, yeah.
You know how these design houses work. He may or may not have gotten most, if not all of the ideas from her. We don't know, right? Because Vêtements versus Balenciaga, they have kind of different style aesthetics. Obviously, Balenciaga like pushes forward like a lot of quirky ideas. I don't want to harp on the potato chip bag again, but so I would really be interested to see like what she brings to Balenciaga, not just because she's a Black woman, but because I think that she's kind of earned it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? She's really earned
her
it.
label is great and it's gotten a lot of acclaim.
Yes, and her label has been so successful. So I think that she definitely deserves it. If she doesn't get it, I'll be very upset.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that Kering may want to do like an answer to like Pharrell. I think they may hire a celebrity. And unfortunately, I think Martine Rose like deserves it. But I think that they're like, if it doesn't work, like if Demna doesn't work at Gucci, they need another house that really like pushes the engine. And I think just like having a celebrity name as a designer, it's not my preference, but I think that that's what they may end up doing.
Do we think that?
I was like,
what was that?
yes.
What was that silent pause?
Do we think that Demna is gonna work at Gucci though?
I said that's why I think they need a second answer.
Oh, yes.
They need a second option. They need a second option.
I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued. I want to see what
You are giving him the benefit of the doubt,
I'm intrigued. Like I said, I want to know what it's gonna be.
I love Vetements.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually don't like Vetements at all.
I love Vetements, but maybe early Vetements, not the recent years. It's kind of gone the way of like Balenciaga, but like maybe he'll be like Vetements at Gucci.
What do you think? What do you think of Galliano at Balenciaga? He may be a nice answer for like Cristobal.
I'm so tired of him.
Really?
I love him.
I absolutely adore him.
The John Galliano Dior couture era.
Even his Margiela era. Like,
and Margiela was good too. Margiela was
fabulous.
Good too.
Like I think he may bridge the gap with Cristobal Balenciaga and like Demna being a little bit more like kind of like kitschy and moody and all of those things. Like I feel like he may like bring back the couture nature of Balenciaga.
I'm not saying that I don't like love his designs. I think that goes without saying. But I'm just ready for these boomer designers to retire. Like,
oh no.
She said, I want the fresh talent, honey. Bring it into you.
Like, how many times can we see Galliano and Raf Simons like rotate between houses?
Until they dead.
My God, Elena!
No, I'm sorry, but I want them designing like I'm sorry, Karl Lagerfeld designed until like the very end.
And we don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they deserve. People deserve a vacation. I guess if they want to continue to design,
no one's dragging him.
So switching gears, we're going to go into Who, What, Where, where we share what you're going to wear or what we think you should wear to all of the different events in your lives. Parties, brunches, club, nether club, all of it. So now we're going to get into, for today, what we think you should wear to first dates.
So I, as the Charlotte of the group, will give my opinion first. So I honestly feel like it depends on how you, like, what your rapport is with the person you're going on the date with. Like, if he or she is a friend, I feel like you can get a little bit more casual. If it's not giving romantic vibes yet, then I wouldn't go there immediately for the first date. Like if it's just like, hey, let's just like grab coffee and it like is a date, but like you still are filling it out, I wouldn't do like a full like date look. But if it is giving romantic vibes, here's what I would do. I would probably do a dress and heels, but I would probably do cleavage as opposed to a mini.
Okay.
Because I feel like a mini gives like it's more suggestive.
Okay.
I feel like it gives like if you're showing a lot of leg, just for some reason, I just feel like it's a little bit more kind of like risque. But like I think the cleavage and a midi dress is like giving intrigue, but it also says I'm a lady.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I actually don't disagree with you. So I thought about this, and if you all remember, like, what is it, the third or fourth episode of Sex and the City where she wears the naked Donna Karan dress? Yes. That is something that you should not wear on a first date, right?
No.
My first date go-to is like an LBD.
Right?
Okay. Any version of an LVD, but not too frou-frou.
No.
Like, I'm not wearing like a T-skirt to a first date, right? I think it should be like an A-line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have cleavage. If I did, I would maybe wear it out to prop them up. But I think an LBD, you can't go wrong with that, especially in New York. And throw on heels. Do not wear flats to a first date.
No.
Gen Z.
Oh my God.
Throw.
No sneakers
Don't call
either.
out a whole group. Gen Z, we love you. Please
Gen
watch
Z.
It's Designer Day.
Gen Z. Adidas and flats are not appropriate for every event. You have to throw on a heel occasionally. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Yes, you do.
You know, okay.
Okay, and then what about the men? Like, what do you guys think?
Why don't you provide your perspective?
So I think about like what I would wear on the first date, and I would like it to be like dressy casual. I think about like, you know, I talked earlier about like the trends of like office wear meeting, like casual wear for men. And so something like that, like something nice that you would wear into, well, I guess depends on where you work. But like, I think of like a nice polo and like a nice pair of like trousers and like low top sneakers or like Chelsea boots or something like that. Something that says that like, I'm taking this seriously, but it's like, I'm not in a full suit, you know? Because I also think you would want, whoever you're on a date with, man, woman, or whatever, you would want them to know that you like, put in effort
yeah.
to,
Oh my goodness.
like, for how you look. Like, please don't show up on a date with like some sweatpants. Like, unless we've been
Can
dating.
I say how old I am? I was watching A Different World a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And Ron was on his way to like take Whitley out on a first date, and he put on like a full suit.
Ron?
A hat. So one episode where she was trying to make Dwayne jealous.
Oh, okay.
He put on a full suit and a hat, and I was like, the guys just used to dress up back in the day to take you out. Now we get a lot of sneakers. We get t-shirts.
Which I think there are tasteful sneakers, though. There are
jeans.
nice sneakers that are like nice that you can wear, that you can like dress up with the look. But like, don't be wearing a sweatsuit, right? Like I think like maybe you can wear like a nice collar shirt or like a nice polo and like nice trousers. Or if you do wear a t-shirt, wear like a nice jacket over it, right? Like there are a lot of cute like woven jackets that you can wear or like bomber jackets or something that can like dress it up a little bit. Like, don't just look like, oh, I just rolled out of bed, I'm about to go like get a chopped cheese down the street. Like, what's up? You want to go to dinner? Like, you know, like give me something. Like, show me that you like care about this occasion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're going bowling or like something like very casual. Like still put in the effort.
Yeah. All right, and now it's time for one of my favorite things to do.
Last but not least.
Sew, show, and go. So we talk about 3 different designers and we say who we want to sew, as in whose items we want to wear more of because we want them to make more clothes, whose show we want to attend, so show, obviously, and then go is you want them to leave. Like, exit. Please exit. No, thank you. So the first is the Battle of the Sex Siren. So designer Tom Ford, designer Laquan Smith, and designer Donatella Versace.
So I would want to sew Tom Ford.
Okay, you want Tom Ford to sew.
I want to show Laquan Smith.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but I would probably want to go Versace. I don't know. This was a very hard one. Someone has to go, and you chose 3 excellent designers for Sex Sirens.
I made it hard.
Thank you for making it hard.
You're welcome.
Number 1, I think Tom Ford would just probably fit me better. I cannot get into a Laquan Smith at this stage in my late 30s. I think that I would love to be able to wear one of his pieces, but I just don't think they're for me yet. So that's why I put him as going to like a show, and I envision his show like he gives very much like freakum dress video. Like his shows just give very much like freakum dress like vibe. So I would want to go to the show for Laquan Smith. Versace, I think the last couple of seasons for me haven't really been hitting, especially this last fall winter one where it looks like they were just like, I don't like that print that they kept reusing over and over and over, and I didn't like the material. It looked kind of like a duvet kind of material that they were using in that show. I think they just need to find themselves in this Prada acquisition. So it'll be interesting to see how they move going forward, but I would want them to go for this particular one.
So Laquan Smith would go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tom Ford would sew.
Okay.
And Versace would show for me. Okay, so the reason was my booty can't fit in Laquan Smith. Like, I could be.
You guys, he has other sizes.
I could literally be gaunt, and my booty with how it booties would still fall out of a Laquan Smith anything, right? So that has to go for me. It's just like a technicality thing. The reason why I would show Versace is because, like, although I don't like some of the recent collections, the production on a Versace show is just like always top tier, and like got the best models. It's in Milan, you know, all of the things. And the reason why I would sew Tom Ford is I love Heider Ackerman, and I love Tom Ford, and I think there's just like a versatility to like what Tom Ford does. Like, he's known for his tailoring, his suits, and I really love suits, and but then I also love wearing like hoe clothes too. So I think
which he does well as well.
So that would fit me very well.
Now you.
Oh God, you guys, it's so hard. It's really hard.
You chose it?
I know, it's really hard. I would have to. Tom Ford would have to sew, because I have been a fan for Tom Ford for years of the brand, and then I'm also have been a fan of Heider Ackerman for years as well. So like, I love all of it, and also I can't personally afford Tom Ford, so at least if I'm just getting the clothes, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Show is I would also have to say Versace, because of just the production value and like also the budget.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what Prada does with it. But it's hard though, because I love Laquan Smith. Y'all know he actually recently showed some menswear pieces in his show, and I want to wear all of them, and I would wear all of them. But like, since someone has to go, it has to be that one. I'm really sad. But I love you, Laquan.
Well, I'm pulling for the Black designers. Shout out to Laquan Smith. Also, if you don't know that much about Laquan Smith, I profile him on Join Black, my other page, on Instagram.
And so the next one is the Battle of the Quirky Kid. Vivienne Westwood, rest in peace.
Yes.
Tom Brown, and then Jeremy Scott, formerly at Moschino.
Want to go first?
Vivienne Westwood, Tom Brown, and
Jeremy Scott.
Jeremy Scott can go. Vivienne Westwood, I would sew, and then Tom Brown, I would show. The reason being, Moschino, I don't know, it just has looked cheap for a long time for me, and it's just too it's too gimmicky.
Kitschy, yeah.
I don't mind kitschy, because I find Jonathan Anderson kitschy. I think that Jeremy Scott is gimmicky, and it kind of cheapens like his designs, because he's an excellent designer, but then he'll just like super glue and hot glue stuff together. Vivienne Westwood, oh my God, just the how those clothes would fit my body, and just like how amazing those designs are, even though she's kind of a controversial figure a little, but it's just I know that they would fit my body well. And then Tom Brown, I mean, I just feel like the production value for him is so high that I would love to go to one of those shows.
Yeah. So I think I have a pretty similar one to you. Jeremy Scott would go, Vivienne Westwood would sew, and Tom Brown would show. The thing is, I do want to give like props to Jeremy Scott. I think that, you know, towards the later end of his tenure at Moschino, it was getting a little bit too kitschy and gimmicky. Yeah. But I mean, if you watch shows how much I love 90s sitcoms, but if you watch The Nanny, she is in a lot of Moschino, and they're like two-piece suits, and she is giving me life in every single one of those. So he really did start off at that brand being like a lot more wearable in terms of like what he brought to the table. But I think just, towards
McDonald's?
the end.
I can't.
McDonald's?
Go away.
She never wore no McDonald's thing on the show.
But when Jeremy Scott started, that was like one of his first lines.
But he also designed, I believe, that heart-shaped purse that she wore with that black LBD that everyone kind of talks about, that heart-shaped purse.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, also Vivienne Westwood is just like, to me, kind of like iconic.
Yeah,
I would just want to be in something.
The tailoring.
And I think the tailoring, but also you can feel all of her personality through everything. Even
so authentic.
even like with the Since she passed away and the new designers have taken over, it's just, you can still feel her spirit, similar to an Alexander McQueen, where you can still feel their spirit through the clothes. So I would definitely want to wear a piece by that brand. And in Tom Brown, I feel like I just love what he's doing with Doechii. I love that he has bringing like very interesting people to his front row,
and
interesting pieces,
and
it'll be like suiting, but then he'll put people in like these big balloon pants and all these things. Like I just feel like he's like just so creative.
Put you in a bustle.
Yeah, but it's also very tailored.
Yes.
And he has like a great aesthetic. So I really would love to go on one of his shows. Yeah.
Same, actually. Yeah. Exactly. 1,000% for all those reasons.
And you?
I agree with you. Like I would want Jeremy Scott, unfortunately, to go, Vivienne Westwood to sew, and then Tom Brown to show. But if I'm going to the show, I'm also wearing it. So just so y'all know, that's a part of it.
Awesome.
Anything from you?
Anything from you?
No.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Is Designer Dead. Be sure to catch us wherever you view or consume your podcasts. Take care. Until next time.